Hey, I see somebody. What is going on? We are doing a stream today because a while back I had asked some people to give me ideas for future lives that they'd be interested in hearing about, and I decided to wait until I had enough, and then here we are. So I dropped the link for my guest. God, this freaking! I swear to God, it's like the maintenance man or the lawn maintenance people. They just know. Oh no, I was going live, so I was gonna fucking cut the grass. It's like, what? Really? All of a sudden? That's it? We're just gonna cut the grass because she's live? Thanks, buddy. Fuck you too. Anyway, so yeah, I'm back today. Second live in one day. Holy Hannah! Whatever shall we do? There may be a third. I might be going on again later on tonight if I can convince my husband to. Special guest, whenever you're ready, the link is for you. Click away. I swear on my life, if it wasn't for the freaking lawn maintenance people, I just don't know what I would do. Okay. Pookie! Yes, I'm on Twitch. I have not added my other places yet that I can stream to, mostly because I'm lazy. Thank you! I decided it was Friday, and why the hell not? Why shouldn't I try to look a little decent? I wore a dress, look. I'm all like, almost ladylike. Wow. Where you at? Are you clicking away? So yeah, I figured that maybe I'll get lucky tonight. Some zippity for my doodah. I'm waiting. My mysterious guest has not appeared yet. So today's topic is one of the ones that my YouTube family subscribers had left suggestions for when I had requested that they give me suggestions for future lives, what they would be interested in talking and hearing about, because not everybody wants to hear what I want to talk about. Thank you, Boogie. I'm getting all these compliments. Hot and heavy breathing coming from the house tonight. It will be a rockin'. Okay, so I'm gonna add somebody right now. Whoever will it be? Please.
Hello.
How do you do?
How's it going?
Not bad. So,
your audio sounds like crap.
Some ideas and a lot of really great experiences to add to this subject, which is why you and I had spoken about it. So everyone, please meet Mags. I'm going to talk first, and then I'm going to give her the floor. Sarcastic motivation. How are ya? So spirits, do I believe in them? I don't really know. I can tell you. I have two situations that have happened to me where I have kind of like it made me go either way. So when I was 17, my best friend, he had died. He was a I'm not sure if his voice sounds robotic. Do I sound robot? Take a
shit.
Do I sound like a robot, Max?
You sound over reverberated.
What the fuck?
Like you're in a tin can.
Really?
Really scratchy. Yeah.
Really loud and has an echo. What the fuck? Is that any better?
Turn it down. Turn your mic down a bit.
I just did. How's that? Is that better?
Much better.
Okay, because I thought it sounded weird at first too, but I wasn't sure. Anyway, okay, so that's it. It's good, sweet. You know why? Because I always keep my cell phone running to watch a channel because I cannot do I can't add mods or anything on the computer for some reason. It won't let me. So I use I use my phone to throw people wrenches. Anyway, is it better? Not how you normally sound. The fuck? I wonder why. All populated. Blah blah blah. So I don't have any music. I shut that music. Did you guys hear the music when I just played it earlier? I don't know if you can hear it when I come on, but I'm wondering if I fucking ruined that. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Better. Okay, cool. So when I was 17, my best friend, I adored him amazingly. He was an awesome person. He had a heart attack and he died at 17. His birthday was 10 days before mine. He was going into the Marine Corps. He was already set up to go and everything. And he passed his PT and he passed away. And you're playing through my hearing. You made me just start a new life. Oh, not how I normally sound. So many crickets. What the fuck? Wow, I want to say hot mom. Thanks, Gloria. So, I didn't know what happened. I had gotten a phone call from somebody at school to tell me because I didn't really go to school. And, I snapped. I lost my mind. My best friend in the whole world died. What the hell? That's just not cool. What am I going to do? I just felt like, I don't know. I lost my mind. And, I had a dream, and in my dream, he came to me. People have dreams all the time. I had a waterbed at the time. Yeah, the warm water sucks. They always fuck with me. I had my waterbed heated on 80 degrees, and I remember I was freezing in my sleep. We're about to go in a minute because of the damn fucking lawnmower. And he just popped up and appeared. And we were talking, and he told me the entire story about how he passed away, what happened. He told me in my dream that he wasn't feeling good when he woke up, and he couldn't breathe. And he said that his tongue swelled up and he had a heart attack and they rushed him to the hospital. He said that the EMTs, he said the EMTs brought him back to life in the hospital. They brought him back to life, they brought him to the hospital, he coded again, they brought him back to life, and then he coded 10 minutes later. So I was crying in my dream and I said, can you please give me a hug? And he hugged me, and I remember I felt ice cold, and that woke me up. Out of a deep sleep, it woke me up, and I was just like, holy shit, I started to cry, I didn't know what the fuck it was, I didn't believe anything at that time, and I talked to his brother, 2 days later, and I told him, I said, I gotta tell you something, I dreamed of him, and whatever, and he was like, okay, what's up? So I told him the whole story, and he was silent. I'm like, so what do you think? He said, I want you to talk to my dad. Okay. So his dad gets on the phone. And he's like, what's up? Joe wanted me to talk to you. It's like, okay, and I told him the whole story. I'm not going to repeat it again. Just did it. But his dad started to cry. He's like, how do you know that? Because he told me in my dream. I just told you that. He said, that is exactly what happened. He's like, I don't know what happened or what's going on, but you know exactly what happened, how it happened, what went down. I was just like, oh my God. So that kind of made me, I had always hoped it was him, but he never came back to me after that. And I just was like, oh, whatever. I guess I had a lucky dream, I guess. Then, about 6 years ago, I had moved back to Florida. I had one of my really good childhood friends, her brother had passed away. He was my first boyfriend ever. Like, we were together for 6 years. Matt knows him. We all grew up together. He had overdosed and died, and his mom had given me his favorite flannel shirt. So I was wearing it a lot because it was kind of cold and I didn't have anything. It's like Florida. Just because it's cold doesn't mean you need like a winter jacket. You just need something like with sleeves. And I was driving, and one thing that happened, I had this weird feeling, and I felt like someone from behind me went like this and just gave me a hug. And he used to do that all the time. Out of the blue, just come up behind me and just give me a hug and a squeeze. And I knew, I had a feeling, I knew it was him. I just knew it had to be him. But those are the only two experiences I've ever had. So do I believe? I really can't say yes, and I really can't say no. I think, I don't know, I could have imagined it maybe. I have no idea. I don't know what it was, but nothing has happened since then, and nothing happened ever since those two things my whole life. So I really, I guess it's just hoping that it was true, I guess, is more along the lines of, I hope that it was them, and not necessarily that I believe that it was spirits or something like that. But you have a lot of great stories and a lot of awesome experiences, so I'm going to give you the floor because you're a lot more interesting than I am. I only have 2 stories.
You're very interesting. Cut your crap. Actually, when you're sleeping is the best time for them to make contact with you because you're more open to it. So I'm going to go towards the fact it did happen. It did happen to you. It's not. Can everybody hear me, or am I too low? Somebody said I was too low.
I hear you.
Okay. To begin with, to begin with, this has been a part of my life my entire life. My grandmother had the abilities. My mother did. My brother did. I do. My children do. This has been a part of our life forever. My grandmother used to come over, and her and my mother used to play with the Ouija board. And some of the weirdest things would happen. Things would move, things would fall, just really weird things. I didn't think anything of it. When I was 8, my aunt died. She fell down the basement stairs.
Damn.
She was my godmother. I'm raised Catholic, so the stuff that was going on in my house, well, that's just taboo.
Right.
But we used to see my aunt in the house after she passed away. My brother used to see her standing in his bedroom closet, and he never closed his closet because, my brother had to have everything meticulous. But he would see her standing in his closet with all kinds of people around her, which is really cool. I used to see her standing at the top of the stairs, like this, we were the main floor, and then to go upstairs to the bedrooms, and that's where she would stand, just like right at the very top of the stairs. And it's like, why are you standing there? You fell down a flight of stairs. I was just little. I was afraid she was going to fall again. So, time went on. I got involved in some things. The Ouija board with my grandmother and my mother. Then, of course, it was the horror movies. And this is where things get really, really, really strange.
Okay.
I was a child. I watched The Exorcist with my mother.
Okay.
And after the movie was over, my mom said, "Okay, it's bedtime. Go to bed." Well, while I'm laying there, my first thought was, "Oh my God, I wonder what it's like to be possessed." My bed started shaking. I have never been so afraid in my life. I never prayed so hard in my life. The bed stopped. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. It wasn't. What I ended up doing was having an attachment, which did so much damage, not only to me, but my life. Um, I can't blame it all on that. Yeah, I made some stupid choices, but as years went on, things would start smashing, just blowing up in my house. The bathroom, I had a glass sitting on the counter and it exploded, but the base of the glass never moved. Things would fly off of my wall. I had wall sconces, ceramic wall sconces with pretty flower arrangements in it, and they would blow up and go flying off the wall.
Wow.
I ended up, my mother passed away. Okay. Yeah, okay, I got you. If you're here, I got your message. Um, my mother passed away. We ended up moving because my mother in law passed away 4 days before that. So
Okay.
I was at the hospital for about 2 weeks straight. Um, moved into the house, got everything done, and things started flying at me, literally at me in the kitchen. I had bruises on the inside of my thighs. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the Hat Man. The Hat Man is a very tall man in black with red eyes. He was standing behind my quilt rack. But in the meantime, there's these things, they look like gargoyles climbing up the wall and on the ceilings over top of my head. And I'm looking at this thinking, I've lost my friggin' mind. I've literally lost my mind. Next thing I know, I'm getting grabbed by my foot and pulled on my bed.
Wow.
I grabbed my foot back and I said, okay, I can't deal with this. I looked at the Hat Man and told him to F off. I rolled over and went back to sleep. The next day, we contacted a demonologist, explained everything that had happened. And she said to me, she said, I'm really surprised that you weren't afraid of it. I said, oh, I was scared, but I couldn't let it know that. I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. So I rolled over and went back to sleep. I wasn't playing. And she goes, you'd make a good demonologist because it's not a matter of fearing them, it's a matter of having respect for what their capabilities are. She said, you're lucky, it's a low grade. We can get rid of it. We got it off of me. When it finally did leave from being attached to me, I was sitting at my desk looking out the window, and there was this old maple tree in the backyard. And one of those things that was crawling up my wall and my ceiling was sitting on a branch way up in the tree, just staring at me. That scared me more than them in my room. Um, like I said, my mother had passed away. I didn't hear from her. I didn't see her. And I was starting to get upset about it. It's like, wait a minute. That's my mom. That's my best friend. She ended up coming. I went into the kitchen and she was standing at the back door with her hand out. My dog was standing with her. And I looked at her and I'm like, Mom, where have you been? Why haven't you come? She said, oh, she said, don't worry about it, honey. I'm going to be around a lot more. And I've never seen her again. That was, I'm going to say maybe 12 years ago. I still feel her. I still feel her. Once I got this attachment off of me, I was back in touch with the demonologist, and she said to me, she said, wow, I have never seen anybody who has so many people. I've never seen so many people in one place. And my mother was there, and she said, something's happening because your mom is moving back. She said, there's this couple moving forward. She said, I really like this couple. She said, he's a very, very tall man, and she's this little tiny thing. But she rules the roost. And I said to her, I said, well, my grandfather was 6'4". My grandmother was 4'9". She described my grandmother to a T. She said, your grandmother wants you to know that you're very reckless. Well, yeah, hello, of course I am. I'm very reckless. She said, you don't even understand how many abilities that you do have because you have a lot. You need to figure them out because there's so much you can do with them. And I'm like, I know some of them. She goes, I know you know some of them, but you don't know all of them. I still haven't figured it out because I don't care. It is what it is. Friends of mine have had family members pass away and friends pass away, and they've asked me about them. My one friend, her sister-in-law was murdered, and she went to her funeral. And I said to her, she said, what can you tell me about my sister-in-law? And I said, well, to start with, she had very dark hair. Why didn't they dye her roots? Because she had gone blonde. And she goes, oh my God, that's so funny. I said, that was my first question when I saw her laying in that casket. She was murdered by a man who was mentally deranged and was infatuated with her. Her and her husband were both murdered in front of their children.
Wow.
One of the children ended up jumping out of a window and went to call the police. The chief of police didn't believe it and went back to bed. That entire family could have been saved. But because of the police neglect, both of the parents were murdered. And then he committed suicide. There's more I could get into about it, but I won't. But the veil is getting very thin right now. A lot more people are going to have a lot more experiences. My children have them. My daughter was supposed to come up here. She chose not to. She said it's too loud. She's having a hard time hearing it.
Aww.
Hearing impairment is actually a good thing because some of the things that you do hear when you're fully hearing are terrifying.
Right.
They can be absolutely horrifying, the sounds that you can hear. I don't know. I've done things, I've seen things. I've had positive and negative experiences. I've been to asylums. I've been to old hospitals. I've been to cemeteries, which I was told to stay out of because they follow me.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that don't realize that they've passed, and they will follow you home, and then you end up with you're haunted. So I've been through that. I learned that. I've been to hotels. I've been to haunted hotels. I don't know if you've heard of the Baker Hotel, the Crazy Water Hotel in Weatherford, Texas. Cuba. I've been to Cuba. I went to a cemetery in Cuba. That's something to experience because in Cuba, the grave robbing, they're buried above sea level, they're buried above ground. So the cemeteries are damaged because of the grave robbers. You
Oh,
can literally look into these crypts and you're seeing bodies. I've been to Gettysburg. I'm trying to get the picture.
why do they bury them
What's that?
above sea level? What, is there a reason for it?
Well, yeah, if you dig a hole, guess what? It's going to fill up with water.
Oh, well, I mean,
They're in a,
but I mean, is Cuba just is it level with the ocean? I don't know anything about Cuba, so never been
well,
there.
yeah, Cuba's an island.
Well, I get that part. All right,
So they
never
do.
mind.
They bury kind of like Louisiana. They bury all of the bodies. They don't dig a hole and put the people in. They're in crypts above sea level.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
Gettysburg was absolutely amazing. If any of you that are here, I don't know how many are here because I can't see. Um, Gettysburg is amazing because it is a very haunted place.
Okay.
I actually got pictures of two two spirits. One of them was um, a Civil War soldier. You could see the gray hat in his head. He was hiding behind a rock, and I actually got a full body entity sitting on top of a rock. The main street, if you go to the very end of the street where, like the tourist trap, there's a bed and breakfast there, and it actually still has bullets
Wow.
from the Civil War. It actually from the battle. I was laying there in bed, and I opened my eyes, and there's this old man, this little fat old man with gray hair, a gray suit, and he was staring. He's right in my face, and I thought, oh, what do you want? He wasn't angry, like I wasn't afraid of him. So again, I rolled over and went back to sleep. It's like, oh, I can't do anything for you. The next day, we went downstairs and we were talking with the owner, and she said, yes, he did exist. I, I mean, detailed the mutton chops he had, no mustache, the suit with the bow tie. Um, it was really weird. It was really weird. She goes, yes, you've got the right time frame. And chances are because you're not the first person to see him. I said, but he was right in my face. You need to talk to him. Tell him, no, this is not acceptable. Um, yes, they do touch you. Yes, it is very cold. There's nothing you can do about it. They're pure energy. Um, I'm kind of talking and looking in the chat, and some of you do actually understand what I'm talking about. Um, yes, negativity for the negative ones, you being upset, trauma, all of that feeds the negative ones, the bad attachments. So your state of mind has a lot to do with your experiences.
So,
The loss
what if
of
you
a loved
suffer
one.
like depression or anxiety? Like, okay, everybody knows that I have issues with both. It's not a secret. But like, would I be more apt to, I guess, have a negative Klingon or whatever than a positive one if it were to ever happen to me?
Um, it would have to be more deep depression, Anxiety, deep anxiety. Loss is huge. Loss is huge. Grief is so huge when it comes to attracting the negativity. What
Right.
you put out into the universe is what you're going to bring back in. It's just the way it happens. They feed on it. They feed on your negativity. Put
Right.
positive out. You know, you got to see the people that you loved. They came and they talked with you, which is really nice. I got
Mm-hmm.
that with my mother. But I'll tell you, Skunk Ape, if you go to Gettysburg, you go to the battlefield, take your camera and just start snapping. Just start snapping. I guarantee you, you will find them. You will get pictures of them. Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast with the building I stayed in. It had bullet holes. What's that woman's name that was the only female who ever died? I forget her name. Her place was closed. I don't know why when I went there. The other place that they've completely closed is the orphanage. I would have really liked to have gone into the orphanage. My daughter, with her experiences, I used to see them lined up down the hallway, coming out of her bedroom. Those are spirits that are trying to pass over. They haven't gotten to where they need to be. I haven't seen that for myself. I've seen it for my daughter. Um, my other daughter, who is supposed to come up here, but you know she's gonna do what she does. Um, she has a previous tenant of where she lives that absolutely loves her and her family and messes with the kids because my grandchildren have abilities themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, which is kind of fun. He doesn't hurt them. He doesn't hurt them, but he thinks he's funny. He thinks he's funny. Um, my other daughter, she's had them where they've not been so nice, and she's called me over to say, "Hey, mom, can you come and help me?" They won't leave me alone, and I'll go over there and say, "Listen, either you're going to stop, or I'm going to get rid of you, and you already know I know how." It got to the point where my daughter said, "Mom, you got to stop coming over because they won't leave me alone." Okay. Oh, okay.
And where do you guys
Anyways,
get rid of them? Is there like, I don't know, some type of, well, I don't even, do I sound better? I don't know. They keep telling me I sound funky. But is it like, I don't know, like, do you have to smudge the house, or do you have like gemstones or whatever the rocks are called, or like, I don't know, rituals? Do you dance around, smoke, and
no, yeah, dance naked in the full moon.
yeah, do we have to like have a sacrifice? I don't know, a lamb or some shit. I'm
Yeah.
just doing it out. I'm really just messing with you. You know, I'm not being like an asshole, even though I am an asshole. But yeah, I'm just curious because I have no idea. I never believed in it. Like I told you, I only experienced it twice. Well, I did experience one more, but I'm not going to speak of it. Not today.
That's fine.
I did. I've only really experienced it twice. But I just never. I don't know. I just never really believed in it. But it's still hard to believe. And I guess I don't know. It's hard to believe because it's happened. How do I even know if it was my imagination or not? It could have just been I was thinking about them. How do I know? And like I've never experienced anything negative. Like of course my kids, you know, when they were little, like oh we saw this old woman. They always said this old lady would sit on the rocking chair. I had one of those old school rocking chairs in my room, and they would freak out. They hated my room. I lived in my room. I slept in my room. I sat in that rocking chair. I had a love seat in the corner. I read books there all the time. You know, that was my place. So I never saw or heard or felt anything until my first friend when I was 17 passed in my dream, and then my ex-boyfriend. So.
But how do you know? How do you know you didn't experience it when you were little and you were told you didn't see it?
I don't even
see everything.
remember. I couldn't even tell you, like, if I can't even recall a time where something other than those two events have happened to me. I feel like I would remember something like that because I remember I'm 40 and I remember the thing that happened when I was 17 with my friend who passed. But I just kind of feel like I hoped so much for them to say something. Like if anybody can do it, it's going to be them. I just feel like I just wanted it to happen. Maybe I dreamt it up, or I just imagined it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not discrediting you at all. I believe that everyone has their own experiences and beliefs, and so it's definitely not my place to say I don't think that it's true, or negate what you're saying. But I just, all these experiences everyone talks about, I've never had anything like that. It's I find it interesting because you're teaching me about things that have happened and you're opening my mind up to the possibilities. But how do you even allow yourself, like, do I start meditating or something? Like, how do I open myself up to allow these things to happen? Or do I want them to?
Exactly. That's a choice. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to shut it down. It just happens. I met my husband, and his life was a lot of negativity. He had a lot of things going on, and I used to see these black shadows walking around the house, and they'd say the most horrific things to me. Finally, I got to the point where it was like, oh, hell no. When you've got these dark things telling you, get out, and then you've got these people coming to you and saying, keep going, you're doing great. You don't know what you've brought. It's really hard you've got to figure out, what do I do here? You've got to push this away. You've got to get this out and try to focus on the positive ends of everything, because it really has a lot to do with your outcome. Now, the attachments that I had, the attachment that I had to burn the sage, I had to burn cedar, dry cedar, which smells incredible. So I highly recommend do both together. It smells so good. Then I had to salt all of my door frames and window frames. I had to go out to the perimeter of my property and put salt all around. Okay, rock salt. You buy a bag of rock salt. That stuff lasts forever. You can do that.
The Himalayan pink rocks, or like the big, like the snow ice, or the snow and ice salt.
For the snow and ice salt, that's what I used. Sea salt is much better, but I used the regular salt, just the rock salt. And then the other thing that I did that absolutely drove them insane, and you guys are all going to laugh, Gregorian chant music, the Gregorian monks chanting. I played that shit in my house 24/7. I'm not going to start singing it for you. It's hilarious.
I think you should. Yeah. I think everybody that wants to hear what this is, put one in the chat. I think he should definitely give us an example, because I've never heard it before. So,
you've never heard Gregorian chanting?
I'll put one in the chat first. I'll be the first one. Okay, we got two.
I'm not singing, but I'll play it for you. It's. I'm sure everybody's heard Gregorian chant music. I'm not singing. It was months of this stuff. It doesn't go away overnight. Trust me. It didn't take you. It's easy enough to come, but it's not easy to get rid of. Period. It's just not. You got to work. You got work to do. You also have to look at, yeah, get over it. All of you. Quit with the ones. Quit with the ones. It's not happening. There's no ones happening here.
I mean, the ones are taking it. I'm just saying.
The ones.
Nike, man, just do it.
Think about what a bunch of monks chanting sounds like. Think about Erasure. You know the band Erasure? Think about that. How they do the chanting in their music.
So,
there it is.
An unformative mags. What is it? It's Gregorian?
Gregorian chant music.
Yes. Okay, I found it. Alright, I have Gregorian chants, hours of healing, chant rosary. I have, something tells me it's not soothing spa. Chant of the mystics, divine Gregorian chant. Oh, Philly et filet. Sounds like something I might eat for dinner. Peaceful Gregorian chants. What would tell me what's your suggestion, since I have no fucking clue. Sung by,
you know what? What?
I have Gregorian chants sung by monks of the Abbey.
That's it. Play it.
Alright, y'all. Ready, guys? It's music time. I'm not playing the whole thing.
Have you ever talked to someone online and things just weren't adding up?
Stupid fucking
Maybe they asked you for money or
nobody asked you. Zip it. I want monks. Alright, so I've heard this in like movies and stuff. Are they saying words or are they just making noises?
So imagine that 24/7. Yes, sarcastic motivation. Exactly.
So 24/7 you had that going on in your house?
For months.
How hard was
rid
it
of
to
it?
get out of your head after it was like drilled in there and stuck?
It took me a couple years to get rid of it. It took me a couple years. So you've just triggered me all over again. But yeah,
you could have avoided that had you just done it. I kid. They are saying words. Okay, I was like, are they just saying like vowel sounds like A-I-O-U? Or are they like actually like, hey demon, go away? Like,
Thank you, Judy. You understand what my life has been with this. I had bruises on my inner thighs that looked like fingerprints. The demonologist, she out and out told me I was about to be attacked. It was leveling up. This happened, it leveled up on me because I had just lost my mother, my best friend. I was miserable. I was in a daze. All I did was cry. I was being selfish. You know what? I blame God for taking the best person out of my life. After I got rid of the attachment, my realization was I had to thank God for ever putting her in my life in the first place. Mm-hmm. I could have had a horrible mother. I could have had an abusive mother. I had a mother who loved me, who turned into my best friend, even though I made her life hell as a teenager. So it was hard. It was really hard what I went through all of those years, but I won. I've had premonitions over the years, really weird premonitions, and I always get them just, that stage before you're awake, but you're not really asleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I get my premonitions. They happened 20 minutes after I've had them. They happened a day, a week after I've had them. They haven't been major. I don't get major, oh my God, something's going to collapse. We're going to have an attack. We're doomed. We're doomed. No, nothing like that. I
All
had
right.
these two little, peach faced finches, and I'm laying there and I'm half awake, half asleep, and I had a dream that the little male went down to the bottom of the cage and was dancing. Oh, that okay. All right, gotcha. Do you want to give her the link?
Done.
Sarcastic motivation.
I
Okay.
suppose, since I do enjoy sarcasm. Okay. So, never mind, I forgot. Continue. Carry on.
Okay. Well, the little male had gone to the bottom of the cage and he was dancing. He was dancing in the food dish and then dancing in the water dish. And then all of a sudden, about 20 minutes later, I hear thud in the bottom of the cage. I turned the light on. The male had dropped dead.
Oh my God. Really?
Yes. Yes. So what did I do? I'm a Catholic. I ran to the nearest church. I went and talked to my priest. I was like, what's happening to me? Why
Mm-hmm.
is this happening? And his excuse was, well, you're at that age where you're maternal now. Your maternal side is kicking in and it's telling you it's time for you to breed. I'm like, no, gotta go. See ya. And I
Breed.
left.
I have a couple bunnies if you're still looking to breed.
I am not.
They want to throw you a
I
bone.
do I do not want any rabbit. I want no bunny. I
I
want
mean, just think of what we
I
could
want
create, though. What if, okay, just say, like, you breeded with a rabbit. It would be half human, half rabbit. Would you have a tail and big ears, but be like the rest would be human? I might
would
believe
it
in
have
spirits
would
then.
it have would it have my big nose?
You can have a big nose, but what if you had whiskers and Dala?
Okay, sarcastic motivation. Are you coming up?
She can't. It's the link's there.
I know. I'm trying to get her to click the link.
Some people don't know how to do it. Has she ever done this before? You click the link and it takes you out of the channel, and then it's going to ask you for your screen name, and then after you do that, it'll say like turn your mic and your camera on. You do not have to turn your camera on if you do not want. As you can see, Miss Mags does not have her camera on, but she's got a creepy little ghosty apparition-y thingy there. And well, here I am in all my awesome glory. So
I've been to Rolling Hills Asylum. That was cool. I've been outside of hospitals. Actually, it's funny because they took down the hospital where I came from, and actually, this daughter of mine was there. There were still spirits in the hospital that they were tearing down. The worst part is they're building condos on the land. I would not live in one of those apartments if my life depended on it. I couldn't do it. The hauntings that those people are going to have on that property. is unbelievable.
So what Indian burial grounds? Because like I had when I lived in New Jersey, there was a burial ground. Jeez, no, it was an actual like a real symbol. We're not saying okay, Indian burial grounds are real, okay, but like an us burial ground, coffins and shit. They dug it up and they were supposed to have relocated the coffins to a new resting place, and then they built a mall on top of where the cemetery was. Apparently, a lot of crazy crap was supposed to have happened there. I worked in the mall. I never saw anything like that ever. However, what happens to those people? Like when they dig up your resting area?
I really don't think anything.
So, like, are they gone? I'm pissed off that they're like, what the fuck? Where'd my hole go? Like, what do they do? Like, why am I in the food court?
A couple years ago, my dad contacted me. His mother, my grandmother, is buried in a cemetery, and they closed the cemetery. They sold it, and they were supposed to move the body. They didn't move my grandmother. She's underneath a highway now.
How rude.
How rude, but she doesn't care.
Well, I mean, she doesn't care, but it's a respect thing. I mean, do what you say and say what you mean and mean we say. If you're going to move people, move them. I mean, don't just fucking put a parking lot around.
Yeah. I feel like they're not connected to their bodies no more. Being in the spirit realm, because you remember, you reincarnate. So then they would be connected to all of their bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't think if you don't move something they're not attached to anymore, they don't really care.
Well, I guess I'm thinking more along the lines of like, I would be highly pissed off if I found out my grandma was now under a highway or under the mall. That's like, I would want my loved one to be relocated properly, and I'd probably be overseeing to make sure that they did move her.
But that's your connection to the body, not theirs.
Right. Well, humans are very selfish, and that's why we have such a hard time letting go when people pass, because we are grieving for us, not for them.
Yes. Sorry, I have a bunch of kids running around.
That's okay. I have well, my kids don't pay attention to me, and I have a bunch of rabbits running around. And there's no husband, so there's nobody to interrupt. It's okay.
So, Ma, what did you need me here for?
I'm going to let you take it, and now you can start about what you know and what you've gone through, because I've kind of touched a little bit, but I want you to go and start about. Come on, you went through it.
Like you said, Gettysburg, or like the haunted wherevers that you went, the hotels and the hospitals. Do you feel, or can you see, or like, do you have any inclination that you have spirits or whatever around?
So
yes,
I do. I don't see them the way my mom sees them. So picture the snow on the TV, the fuzzy screen. I'll see that as a shape.
Okay.
If I go past the place, I will get anxiety. We just had a hospital torn down, and it was one of our oldest hospitals. You drive past it, you could hear screaming. You could hear them being lost. They tore it down, and there's just lost souls now. You get extreme anxiety. Actually, my mom was there too, at that hospital, with me, and going past it was crazy. Everything's haunted. I mean, my house, my cupboard's open. Last night I got touched. Just last night. I was telling my mom this morning. So I believe that they exist. My husband, he didn't believe, and now he'll talk about it because he's seen things happen. beds go right across the room.
Is that done out of anger? Like, is that a nasty spirit or whatever you want to call them? I'm not even sure if I'm using the proper word. Or is that just looking for attention?
So the beds that go
That was
across the
my
room
attachment.
is my grandmother. She will move the beds to let you know she's there,
Okay.
and with children on it.
I bet they love it.
Well, it was me. It started with me when I was a kid. Me and my sister would be in our bunk bed, and it would slide across the room. Um, I don't know. Growing up in a family that always knew we had abilities, um, I think more things tend to happen because we know what to look out for.
Hmm.
Um, I don't even know. I have so much shit happen to me.
I was told that you were on a documentary. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but that's up to you if you do.
That was my sister. So my sister sees spirits like she sees you and I.
Okay.
And she used to have people show up out of her closet at 3 years old, 4 years old, and just stand there.
Oh.
So it's actually what was the name of that show, Mom? The documentary.
Ghostly encounters.
Yeah, Ghostly Encounters, the one with the Asian guy that was the host.
Okay.
Everybody called her a liar. Everybody. She used to talk to somebody in the vents.
They like, and they would
She
talk. They would have conversations. Like she would know what they were needing or
I
wanting, or
forgot.
Oh yeah.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, I used to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and she'd be sitting on the floor talking into those old vents,
I
with the
used to do
sculpted
that.
metal.
I used to do that. I remember doing that.
Okay,
Fix it in the
she would
house.
talk there.
Fix it.
Well, yeah, she would be talking in the vent, and I'd be like, honey, what are you doing? I'm talking to my friend. Well, who's your friend? My friend's name, what did she say it was? Wasn't it Patrick or Roger? Roger. It was Roger. It was Roger. Well, you need to tell Roger you have to go to school in the morning because she was in nursery school. You got to get some sleep. So she'd look and she'd go, oh, okay. Roger, I got to go to bed because I have to go to school tomorrow. After that, things went from bad to worse in that house. We lasted in that place 6 months, and we had to go.
Wow.
We had to get out of it. The attack started there as well. We moved. So, anyways, I'm going to let my daughter take over. Go ahead.
One time my daughter, she's 8 now. She came to me and she said, "Uncle so and so says hi." I don't know Uncle so and so. I've never met Uncle so and so. I don't think it's Uncle so and so. And my mom, she says, "Well, describe him." So I get my daughter to describe him to my mom. And she says, "Yes, that's my uncle. He passed before you were even born." So she sent me a picture of him. I showed him to my daughter. She said, "Yeah, that's him. That's him. He's
Wow.
here all the time." My daughter colors too. My 8-year-old, she documents everybody she sees and how she sees them. So I'm on the phone. Sorry, he's 3.
I
Um,
apologize. Everyone's welcome.
my 8-year-old documents. So she colors on her walls. Now, at first, I thought it was just them being, asshole kids and coloring on my walls. And then I started noticing that some of these people were wounded. and some were missing limbs, some were in cages.
Wow.
So I started asking her, who is this? So she would have a name for every single person on the wall. Now, when I say the wall was covered, I mean all four walls of her bedroom from top to bottom
Wow.
with different people and stories. She was giving me birth years.
So she knew all of their stories, their life, what happened to
Yes.
them.
So my daughter is, what's the name of it? An indigo child.
Okay.
So basically, um, when ghosts are roaming or spirits are roaming, it's dark. And then they see a light and it's bright. Where do they go? They go to the light, right? That's my daughter.
Wow.
And I can
Does she
show you
ever tell you
pictures.
like stories that like you wish she didn't know, like tragic, horrific ish like situations that you were just like, oh my gosh, like you're so blessed to be able to have this connection, but in your head you're thinking, I really wish they would have left that one detail out.
All of her people on her wall, I wish they would have stayed away. I have murderers drawn on my wall that were killed by the police.
Really? And
Yes.
but
Yeah.
when they come through and speak with her, are they just sharing like a story, making a friend because they know that she can see and talk to them, or like are they maliciously doing this? Like, what do you think their intentions are?
So nobody has attacked her as of yet. Nobody's hurt her. They all just sit on her bed and talk to her, or stand by her and talk to her. I've gotten up in the middle of the night and she's standing there talking.
Wow.
And then the next day, there will be a new person on the wall. I can take pictures and send them to my mom to send you, but it's insane. She has covered 2 bedrooms.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think my daughter's the strongest one out of my household. As for me, like one time I was laying in bed and I have a really strong connection with my mother. When she's sad, I know. When something bad's happening, I know. She There's a connection where to the point where mirrors break in my house when she is sad.
That's me. That's me. Fell out. Sorry.
And the one time I didn't know if she was alive or dead. And I seen this woman at the top of my door. And it was the first time in a long time that I actually seen it as a human being. And I seen hair and this messed up face and these really, really long fingers. And it sounds like, oh, come on, bitch. Like, you just watched a horror movie, didn't you? No.
That's crazy. That had to be like I would have been scared,
Yeah.
especially if you weren't sure like what was going on with your mom. I would have been really, really over.
Yeah. I call her every time. She'll be like, how the fuck did you know? The other day, she was dealing with some problems. I literally felt like I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was the
You
connection
can
with
feel
her.
her pain. Can you also like it when she's sad? You can feel the sadness, but when she's like in pain, is a different type of energy feeling that you get.
I just get a feeling that I need to call her. Something's wrong. I don't feel sadness. I feel like I have to call. Something's up. If somebody's visiting her at a certain point, and it's bugging her, I will know. Her demon attacked me when she was trying to get rid of him. In my bed, he scratched the shit out of my leg.
Wow. Do you think that could have made this connection between the two of you because he had been attacking the both of you, or were you always sensitive to your mother's emotions and feelings?
I think it was after, after his attack. For sure.
Well, now earlier, Mags, you had mentioned when you spoke with the demonologist that they said that you were very close to being taken over.
Yes.
So now
I
I
agree.
know nothing about anything, but I've seen a lot of movies. Like, is your head gonna spin? Were you gonna climb up the wall backwards, puke green stuff, or what does that mean in real life?
Things would have gotten much worse for me.
Mm-hmm.
My actions would no longer be my own. My words would no longer be my own. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because it didn't get that far. You have to remember, this started with me. I know its name, but I can't speak it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All I can say is it has to do with the Ouija board, which was my entire life as a child, and then what happened. So since I was a child, this thing has been connected to me. When my mother passed, my grief, which I still have never really grieved over the loss, I still cannot talk about her without welling up.
I
But I
know.
had to let her go for her. It was a hard thing to do.
Is it
But
true
they
what they
were
say?
pleading.
Like, would you be considered like her unfinished business? Is that a true thing? Like, because you couldn't let go, she was kind of like here because you needed her?
Stuck here. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. It was my brothers as well. None of us, you have to understand, there are some of us who have mothers that most people dream of. I love my mother. My mother was my best friend. Um, my mother was my soul family. You don't, not everybody has the same family throughout various lives. If you believe in reincarnation, go through reincarnation. We all keep coming back when we don't learn the lessons that we need to learn. My mother has been a part of my family for more than one life. So we're very attached. It's like the worst loss. It's like, I can't say it's like losing your child. I can't say it's that kind of pain because nothing compares to that pain. But I'll tell you, that pain is something that does attract them because they feed off of it.
Can I just say something really
So,
quick? I seen from the chat, one of the chats popped up about the Ouija board. Um, Stay away from the Ouija board. If you don't know how to open and close properly, yes, that one, Pedro. Stay away because the demon associated with that is the same demon that attacked my mom. So stay away from it.
which is a low grade. It's
Well,
only a
how,
low grade.
like, are there like actual legit, like, okay, I've had one as a kid. I got it at like the KB toy store when I was still open. Like, are there like actual real Ouija boards you get from like an actual real, like, I don't know, that type of place? Or like, does any old Ouija board work?
Right one, and it's
Any of them.
Really?
yes.
You can pay $10 to summon a demon, but you spend a lifetime trying to get rid of it.
So what does one do when it pops? Does it pop up and it just comes for you because he's like, hey, you called me, so here I am. I answered, or is it like it just takes off and does its own thing? Can it do that, or does it just always stick to whoever invited him over?
Well, when I moved out of my house, it was still there. It was still there. My ex through the grapevine, I found out that that it was still there. He was having problems. Stuff was starting to be thrown at him. So, yeah, I left it behind. I had to get rid of it. I had to go. I'll tell you, when you do get rid of an attachment, your clarity, the clarity that you have is unbelievable. Things start to, the things that you think are okay, they're not okay. You start seeing what you've been accepting, the negativity that you've been accepting in your life, and you say no more, and you're done. And you leave and get away from all those negative things that haven't been good for you. The clarity is unbelievable.
What is it?
On that, I'm going to look it up.
I don't know how to really ask this, so I'm just gonna blurt it out, and if you understand what I'm saying, then tell me. When you had the attachment versus now, how did you feel? Could you know, like you're saying it's a noticeable difference, but when you had it, were you always like just an ass? Were you nasty, mean? You just wanted to freaking hurt everybody? Like, how did you feel? How did it make you feel when it had you in its control? Versus now.
My dreams were always very violent. I mean, brutally violent. My dreams were disemboweling people. Very graphic, like it's stuff that you see on TV now, murders now. And there were specific targets that I had set in my mind. Had I not, actually, I'm going to say this. One of the biggest things that helped me to stop the attacks for a certain period of time was giving birth to my daughter. Having her ended the nightmares, but it didn't end the path that I was on. I had to yes, I did dabble in witchcraft as a teenager, which Noelle, you and I spoke about that earlier. I would say stupid things like somebody had really hurt me or upset me, and I'd say, "Oh, well, you just dropped dead." And I did that about 5 times, and every one of them dropped dead.
There's no such thing.
I was devastated with that. Like, I felt like, oh my God, did this happen because of me? I got out of it. It was like, I don't want any part of this crap. And I've never looked back at it. But the attachment, because of the loss of my mother, is what escalated its strength, because I was feeding it and giving it more power. And that's when the attacks really got bad.
Okay. Are they black or white witches, or know someone that's in witchcraft? Miss Judy is asking. Like, so everyone's heard the whole white witch, good witch, bad witch. Is there a difference? I mean, I know some people want good stuff to happen. Some people are just like drop dead, or
good or
whatever.
good or bad. There's no such thing as good witches or bad witches. There's people with good intentions and bad intentions.
That's everyday life. So that right. if you're that type of person, and then you get into the witchcraft, you're going to be that type of person, but with power.
Yes. So you're just a witch. That's what it comes down to. Anybody that you hear says, "Oh, I'm a white witch," it does not exist. You are a witch, point blank.
Okay.
Everything you do, good or bad, you get back.
I believe that. I agree with that, 100%. I was friends. Pardon me. I had a personal Facebook. Everyone did. I haven't used it in years, like forever. It's not even active anymore. I made one for my channel because people had asked me to make one to connect on Facebook with them. So eventually I gave in and I did. But one person that I knew always was talking about, I need help writing a spell or a spell and it to come out the way I want. And I'm like, how the hell did you know if it came out the way you wanted? Like, did you try to like make a butterfly and you made a frog? Like, what? How do you know? What could you have done to prove to you that whatever you concocted is wrong? Okay. Or how do you even write a spell? You just write down like a wish or a thought or something?
I'll use an example because I actually did a spell. So, when I had my daughter with my husband, my first daughter with my husband, I was having a lot of issues with him and his mother trying to take my child. We're still together, but I had issues. So I did a binding spell on him and his mother. All I did was take something of theirs. It could be a button. It could be a picture. And you wrap it up, you put it in water, and you freeze it. You don't need to say anything. You just do it. I had nothing but issues. And as soon as I did that, the issue stopped. I now get along with my mother-in-law.
Uh-huh.
I still have that binding spell in my freezer.
Did you have to, like, is there a lot of effort into, like, writing a spell? Like, do you have to research? Kind of, like, how do you know, like I could say, I can write down, gee, I really hope that Penelope does not stub her toe today, and then put it in water and stick it in the fridge. Or the freezer. Like, is it that simple?
It's literally that simple. Yes, for a binding spell it is. Yes. But if you're trying to do something more advanced, yes, I would use a spell that's already written. You can find them.
They have spell books. I remember there was a flea market where I used to live on the east coast of Florida, and I would always go into a store. It was called the Witch's Cauldron, and she had all kinds of, like, I don't know, feet and all kinds of stuff. But I only went in there because I really liked the incense in her candles. I don't know if that, like, made me part of, like, the witch cult or witchcraft or whatever it is, but I just really like candles, and I really like the incense and stuff that she had. I never let her do readings or anything like that on me, but I used to go in there a lot, and I think it's still there to this day because I know the person that was talking about writing her spell or whatever incorrectly, she mentioned it, but that was like over 2.5 years ago, I guess. So, like, am I somehow connected to this witches thing because I used to buy stuff from that shop?
Being drawn to certain things from a witch's store, yes. That's how I feel. Other people might say, no, that just means you like candles and incense. But which candles and incense were you buying?
Pretty ones that smelled good.
But what smells? Regular
vanilla, anything lavender. Jesus, I don't remember the incense. There were certain ones that I really, really liked, and I can't remember the names of them, but they smelled good. I wanted ones
going through in life. Did you find yourself going there and buying something different? Because, maybe you had financial troubles and you're like, this smells good. But this one smells better. This is my favorite one, but this other one smells better right now. You ever noticed that?
See, I was like middle school, early high school. I was like an atheist. I didn't really believe in anything. Stop humping your brother. Until my best friend passed away. Stop chewing my charger. Damn rabbits. So, and when he passed away is when I made myself believe and start really praying and getting into religion and God. Because in my head, if anyone deserved to go to heaven, it was him, and so I had to believe that that's where he was. But my friend was into all that stuff, and she didn't do any kind of like witchcrafty stuff. She just went there because like we were in the. It was back when goth first came out. We were like the gothic people. She showed me the witch's cauldron. I went in. I got incense and candles and stuff because they were super cheap back then. And I don't even know what the hell she would get. She would just get whatever she wanted. But I just only that's what I stuck to. I really never. I couldn't tell you what the freaking smells were now, other than like the lavenders and the vanilla. But I still love those smells to this day. Like warm caramel, I love that smell too. So and patchouli, I love patchouli. I've always loved that. But I don't even know. Like, do those scents have like a reason or anything behind them?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they all do.
I mainly, if I go and I buy incense or anything like that, because of what I've experienced, I always buy dragon's blood.
Me too.
I've heard of that one. I'm not sure if I ever smelled it though.
I like the smell of it, but I also like the protection it gives me and my home.
Okay.
And no, we're not talking about real dragon's blood.
No, I know. This is the name of the scent.
It's
I mean,
pretty sure
shit,
it's
if
blood.
I'm trying to dragon just to get its blood, I'll go for the road trip because I want to see it too.
Well, it's free. It's yeah.
You guys were touching on reincarnation, and I'm not sure how I feel about that either. What do you guys?
Christine Rose. Oh my God. You know what? I seem to run into you everywhere. Hi. That's all I have to say. Okay, go. I'm muting.
Do you find anything that you're drawn to? Like, when I was a kid, I would force my mom to take me to the mummies exhibit. I had to go. There was no. I don't care if you don't have the money. Find the money. We're going. When King Tut came to Canada, we had to go. I had to be there. If I didn't go, I cried. I cried until I went.
Oh my gosh. I'm not really drawn to anything. I actually feel like I was definitely born in the wrong generation, the wrong time period. I definitely don't belong where I am right now. I don't think that. But I do not know if I'm drawn to anything per se. Like, okay, like I like dresses. I never spend money on myself, so it's very rare that you'll see me in anything new because I'll spend the money on my family before me. But I always will see something in the store and be like, "Oh, it's such a pretty dress," and then I was like, "Okay, put it back." Other than that, no, I'm really not. I'm not drawn to anything air freshener. Like I have to have, like the plug-ins around the house, because I just like it smells.
Any kind of place or even Salem, the witch trial.
Beaches. I have to when I'm mentally fucked up, mad, angry, like irate, depressed, anxious, I'll go to the water. And now I'm from Florida, but I did move up north when I was 18 and knew everything. I ended up in a state that was landlocked. I was actually 3 hours south of Canada, and so I would always go to the lakes. When I came back home, I lived in an apartment complex that had like 4 different lakes in the complex. I would go and disappear, and I always had my favorite one that I would sit at. Or I would just go to the beach. I have to be. The beach is my place.
Well, water grounds you. It brings you back. Water is really good for healing, and I just
The
think
salt water is good for cleansing your chakras.
Yeah, I think you're a new soul, to be completely honest. If there's not something that you're completely 100% drawn to,
or seems familiar.
Yes. Or that also something where you go there and you're like, I've been here before, but I've never been here.
Yes, I've had those like that deja vu, like I recognize this or I remember this, but I don't necessarily know how. Sometimes I'll dream something and then it happens, or I know I have feelings, and I stopped doing this when I was a kid actually because people started calling me a witch. I was like, well, fuck you, I'm not a witch, I'm not crazy, I'm just like, I don't know how I thought or knew this was gonna happen. Popped in my head. I started to ignore it because fuck that. I'm already an asshole. I don't have to be an asshole witch. But I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm very like I would definitely have been better off in a different, like, okay, I always said like I've always wanted a farm. So when I moved up north, I ended up getting some livestock, and I did my own slaughtering and such. I would hunt. I always thought like it'd be really fucking cool to be a fucking pirate. And I'm like, no, because I'd end up being one of like those saloon whores or some shit. Like I wouldn't be like an Annie get your gun, Bonnie and Clyde person. I'd end up being a whore. Just my luck. Just my luck. Or like I thought it would be cool to like live like an Amish lifestyle. That I thought would be cool. Like, I don't know, does that mean anything, or am I just crazy? I'm an asshole witch who's a saloon whore that likes Amish people.
I can't get past the whore thing. That is hysterical.
You can't be a whore and an Amish.
An Amish whore. Yes, you can. God, this is hysterical. Oh my God. You know, you can be a whore. You can be a whore. I'm a slut. I'm too dumb to charge. How about that?
I can't be a professional prostitute because I'd end up having to pay them. But like the old Western days, like I thought that'd be cool too. Like I really did think that would be cool. I thought the pirate thing would be cool, but I don't know. I'm just fucking stupid. I don't know. I'm drawn to nature. I love horses. I've always wanted farms. I like good smells. My favorite thing in the entire world is sunflowers. I love sunflowers. I like, you know, certain smells for certain seasons, like apple cinnamon, or and I can't remember it now that I want to say it, but there's something I like for winter. Or we don't get winter here, but you know what I mean. So I changed this. The
evergreen scent.
Ew, so gross. And cinnamon's gross too.
I don't mind cinnamon. I don't mind the apple cinnamon. But I honestly believe that I was alive during World War II. I honestly believe that I was here during that time because it all seems so familiar to me. I don't want to go any further into it because I don't know if I was a Nazi or if I was Jewish. You know, I don't know.
You know, see.
The Holocaust is fascinating.
Your Hitler's sister.
Shut up.
You should write like a book or a short play and then reenact it on Alive. Hail Mags!
That's it. That's right. So anyways, like I said, I honestly believe that I was alive during World War II, during all of that crap. I don't know why. I just know that I was. I also believe that I was alive during the Great Crusade. I thoroughly believe that.
I relate to those times better than I do now. I've always thought that. Like I said, like a fucking pirate. Who the fuck actually thinks that like they, you know, I'd be better off as a pirate?
My ancestors were pirates.
But I don't know. But okay, so she's Christine just said she always wanted to live on a riverboat. I wanted a boat home, like a big freaking boat home, houseboat, whatever they're called. I wanted one of them. Like I could, you know, just be a fake pirate in my houseboat. Just sail around wherever the hell I want. Like, you know, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I don't do
And I'd like to wake up, pack, jump on my horse, and fucking take it for a ride and never come back too. So who the hell knows? I'm like a fucked up new soul. Like, there's just something wrong with me. Bitch, get your fucking mind straight. I'm gonna see a doctor for this.
Don't see a doctor.
Right?
I mean, you might get a vacay out of it.
Right? So, Doc, here, you have to understand. When I was younger, this happened, and the witch's cauldron, and then I thought I was a pirate, but I could be a fucking cowboy, but I'd be a bar saloon whore. Not really sure. I could be Bonnie and Clyde, though, because I'm really nasty and I'm really a good shot. I can shoot for days. Also, I wouldn't mind robbing a bank because, you know, the idea of having all that fucking money sounds really great to me. What do you think, Doc? Am I getting a vacation, ladies, or am I just going to walk out with a really heavy pack of prescriptions?
At least 72 hours.
Sweet! Thorazine drip! Stat! But then I was a nurse for a long time. You know, knows this, like, we talk all the time. I like caring for people. I like taking care of people. I'm an empath. Like, my empathy is just insane. Like, I'll do anything for anybody, and I've literally done things for people who have done shit to me that is just like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? Like, bitch, I just fucking helped your ass. You're lucky I don't stab you in the throat. I do have a violent side. In fact, on paper, if you ever were to do an FBI background check, I do not look like Mary Poppins. So I don't know. Diagnose me, ladies.
She keeps leaving.
I know, she's fucking sellout. Someone said in here earlier, I highlighted it, but I'm not sure if y'all saw it, that since I've played around with Ouija boards when I was a kid, that I may actually have a negative attachment attached to me all the time. I'm here, I'm just thinking I'm like an asshole, but I really just got like somebody on my back, and he's just like pulling my puppet strings.
So it's a possibility, but like my mom said, there was always something that was there. There was always negative attached to it. I think she could have gone a lot farther in life if she didn't have that attachment.
Right.
It's a possibility, but I would have no idea.
Because I don't even know how much you know about me, but I have many years as I used to call it a professional junkie under my belt. I have done my fair share of time behind the wall. All my charges are violent.
Right. So it's a possibility.
Is that just an asshole? Like, or am I possessed?
Well, it's not a possession.
Okay, cool, because I didn't know if I had a call for next.
You might have an attachment. The best thing to do is to start grounding yourself and start protecting yourself. I always have salt at my entrances. It's all around my property.
Like, you really walk around and like do the salt thing, like you see in movies?
Yes. I also, if I find that I have a negative energy in my house, I do what's it called? I feed the spirits, basically. I will make a feast and feed the spirits. But I learned that recently. I follow a lot of native culture and their beliefs, and I found most of theirs work.
Right.
Get stone. Go back to your witch's store and get protective stones. I always have tourmaline in my house.
What's the purple one? I had a purple and like a white opally one. But someone told me I had to get them and for good vibes or whatever. I I got them because they were pretty.
So if you do have them, I don't know what religion you believe in.
Roman Catholic.
I don't believe in the cross. Even my religion before I started following the native religion, we didn't use crosses. Crosses work. As long as you believe they'll work, they'll work.
What about holy water? I was just told it's only holy because, like, what we're led to believe is that because the priest blesses it, he says a prayer over it. So, like, is holy water like your demon type of shit?
If you, in your heart, believe that it'll work, it'll work. If you don't believe it'll work, it's not going to work. If you don't believe in Jesus and his priest, it's not going to work.
Right. I'm very religious. I am. I'm just asking you guys because I like to hear your point of views and what you guys think. Because you're telling me
it's all your beliefs.
I don't know about.
It's all your belief system.
I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in the Christian. I believe we have a creator. I believe that, everything has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
We follow the native heritage, our native heritage.
I believe everything that God gave us, Creator gave us, can heal us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
The native side, natives are like very big into rituals, like, well, not that I know because I really don't know, but from what I've learned, if it's true or not, like where like the rain dance and like smoke signals and stuff like that, and is that really true?
Is for war.
Everything in Christian faith is a ritual.
Yeah.
Everything is a ritual. So is everything that the natives do. It all has to do with the creator.
Yeah.
But they're also spiritualists. They also ask for the forefathers, which you know what they are. They're your ancestors, to help instead of having the creator fix everything. You know how the Christians run to Jesus. Okay, you know what? I'm not saying that Jesus didn't exist. My belief and my feeling on it is Jesus walked around this earth preaching the creator's word. Do you honestly believe that Jesus himself wanted to be worshipped as a god?
Nope, he never even said that.
Preaching his Father's word.
It's not even written in the Bible.
Exactly.
And a lot of people will pray to Jesus. I pray to God.
I think Jesus is kind of pissed off. Like, what is wrong with these people? Why are they worshiping me? Okay, you know what? I'm their brother. I did them a favor. I did them a solid. So when you die, you go to Jesus and say, thank you. Thank you for bringing us back to the Creator, to our Father.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, that's my opinion. I'm not knocking anybody's belief. I'm not knocking anybody's religion. Like I said, I follow the native traditions. I raised my children this way. My grandchildren are being raised this way. It's a personal preference. It's a lifestyle. And when all the shit goes down, guess who's going to still be around?
The
natives.
Do they really scalp people? Like heads on the wall as gets trophies? Like, did anybody hand you down the scalp thing?
Well, you know what? Come on. White people came to this continent and just sort of took over.
Well, I get that.
Raped and robbed and took everything away. And they were, like now, trying to preserve the land, preserve what we have here to sustain ourselves. And white people are greedy. We take more than we need and we waste everything.
Yep. I believe that the end of times are coming soon. because look at what, I don't know, what you believe in as far as like what's in the Bible, but everybody has turned so ugly and evil, and they're selfish, and they're greedy, and they're doing all the things that are supposed to happen right before it happens. You know, the rapture or whatever you want to call it, before Jesus comes back. And I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow or in 10 years. It could happen in 100 years. But things do happen for a reason. I'm not going to say one thing that I believe in. I mean, I normally I don't give a fuck, because fuck whoever thinks whatever they think. It's my opinion. But I'm not trying to really upset anybody, because I do know some people that went through this tragedy. But I believe certain things happen to certain places and kind of destroy them because of all the sin and evil and things that happen there. And the only way to get rid of the bullshit is to wipe it out and start over. That's my thought.
I honestly believe that what is happening is dark, is nasty, and we're being asked to go back to the Creator. Go back to living the way that we were meant to live. This is not sustaining ourselves. We're being kept poor. We're being dragged deeper. It just pisses me off. You know, I ask for very little. I don't waste. I try to teach my kids, stop wasting. You know what? There's children in Africa starving, and you don't want to eat your vegetables. You're going to eat your vegetables because they're going to help the food. You're going to do it.
Right.
You know, I try not to. I have a hard time throwing out leftovers. Nobody wants to eat them, but be damned, you're going to.
If it's in the fridge more than 2 days, I won't eat them. That's me being honest. But I am just very weird. Like, I don't drink milk, and if I do drink milk because I have a craving for it, I only drink enough that I can do in one swallow. I won't go back for like a second sip. Told you I'm weird. But
I agree. I agree with that.
Well, I was nursing my son, and I was just like, it's gross. Like, fucking booby milk. You know, and I nursed him for, the full year. But that kind of, he's going to be 16 this year. I have not drank milk. I'm not into dairy at all since he was breastfeeding. But when I was pregnant, I craved ice cold milk and Oreo cookies all the time.
And your milk tastes
better. That's awesome.
Milk.
And I never thought it tasted good. Of course, I had to take a sip. I'm like, might as well try it. But
it's don't take more from the land than what you need. Don't waste any part of it.
Leave no trace.
Yeah. But like I said, everybody decided to come over here, and they just slaughtered everything. And everything was for sale. Everything was a barter system. And then you got these greedy motherfuckers who have all the money. They are trying to destroy everything, but we've also taken it all for granted. We've taken everything that we have for granted. And that needs to change. You know what? Maybe not having everything that we want isn't such a bad thing, because we're leaving ourselves to be set up to have it taken away anyways.
Right. Absolutely. What do you think about everybody has a spirit animal? Is that true?
Yes.
How do you find out what your spirit animal is?
It depends. Your spirit animal can change on what you're experiencing in your life.
Huh. So, like, my favorite animals are, and like I said, I've always wanted, farms and horses, but my favorite animals are a horse. I love horses. In fact, I would love nothing more than just to have a field full of horses, rescue mustangs. I love the idea of that, and that was always a goal of mine, which I'm never going to reach, but whatever. At least I'm logical and I understand that. But I also love pigs, so like depending on my mood, I could either have like a horse or a pig.
Okay, here's my question for you.
Oh, Jesus.
Can you talk to them? Can you talk to them?
Yeah. I can look into a horse's eye and I can see its soul. I can feel its feelings. I know I can look at a horse and tell you that that horse is not happy. I also can look at a pig and like, you know, I just kind of know right, what it is, but I don't have that strong of a connection with a pig that I do with horses.
I understand that. My attachment, I'm the same way. I talk to dogs. I actually revolve my life around dogs. I had my own grooming shop. I trained dogs. My entire life has been, I can sit there, go into somebody's house that has an absolutely vicious dog, and that dog's laying on its back wanting me to rub its belly.
I've always, people have always told me, and it's kind of funny because I told my husband about it and he laughs and he's like, it's true. People are always like, oh, you're an animal whisperer. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm an animal whisperer. Like, violent, nasty attack dogs will be friends with me. I'm like, maybe he just knows I'm mean. Or, like, I used to always travel with certain things in my car. Like, I would have a bag of food and I would go to, we had peacocks that used to run wild in a town the town I lived in, and I would go and I'd sit and I'd feed them, and then eventually they would let me pet them and hold babies.
Oh, sorry.
There was a horse farm around the corner from me.
And like my rabbits, I rescue anything. I had possums, I've had raccoons, I had a bat, I've had, you name it, I've probably had it. I just, and like animals will come to me, like I will be out and I'll go shh, and that like, what? And I'll be like, listen, did you hear that? And then all of a sudden he'll hear like a cat meow. Like, how often do stray cats just meow and want you to be like, hey, here I am. I'll walk over. Next thing you know, he's got a name. He's in my lap. I'm bringing food back. I'm doing whatever I can to help it. So my only purpose in life, I think, is to really help animals. So I don't even know, like, I'm like a jambalaya animal spirit. Like, my animal has like 15 heads, maybe, if that's possible.
So that's your gift. That is a gift. That's an ability. Not everyone can talk to animals.
So
I used to drive past a horse farm all the time because I could feel what they feel. One horse farm, those horses, I have never experienced the feeling of how happy those horses were in my life. Mm-hmm. Go down the road about 2 miles, and those horses were miserable. So I always made sure that I would go past that horse farm. Horses have the most awesome sense of humor.
Oh my God! There's fucking someone, an Arab stallion, and he was the most stubborn thing in the world. But I always said, when I get another horse, if I ever get another horse, I want an Arab. But then I also want to rescue Mustangs because I'm completely against, the auctioning them to glue factories and stuff like that. I'm just against that stuff. So I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up yet.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to be either. But no, horses have a really good sense of humor. They like to chase me. They think it's absolutely hysterical. They'll get me to jump a fence to get away from them. They'll stop dead in their tracks and start laughing. They have awesome senses of humor. But I'm terrified of them.
Of horses?
Yeah, they do. I even got chased by a Shetland pony, okay? That's how funny they think that they are. They know I'm afraid, and they utilize it, and they think it's funny. So, I gotta laugh with them because it's like, you got me. Dogs aren't like that. Dogs will actually tell me when they're not feeling well. They'll tell me when they're not happy or if they're happy. When I had my shop, I had some of the happiest dogs come in. When they came back, I always knew if something happened to them or they were sick. And I would discuss it with the owners, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, how do you know that?" Well, because I just do. Something happened to your animal, or take it to the vet because the dog's not feeling well. Sure enough, they go to the vet and it's like, "Well, yeah, you were right." How do you know this? I don't know. They tell me. They tell me that they don't feel well. So that's another ability that I have. I still don't know all of them. I'm a caregiver.
Can you tell if you're
healer.
not as them?
What?
Can you tell when you're not in the same room as them? Because I can. Something will tell me. Like P knows. My son had a guinea pig, and something just said, "Go check on Chubbs." And I have no idea. I go in. I would feed him, do what I have to do. He was staying the night at my parents' house that weekend. I think he stayed for three nights.
Because of the ability that we have with animals, we can see it. We can look at them and know that there's something wrong. There's something not right here. Okay, I need you to tell me what's the matter. What can I do? And you'll figure it out. It's not hard. It's not hard.
Something told me to go in there, and he was laying under the spigot, like the spout of his water bottle, and I'm like, Chubbs, this is not normal. And then I pet him a little bit, and he wiggled around a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'll be back to check on you. And I actually went and did some laundry, and I forgot. But then something said, go check on Chubbs. Like, what if Robert comes home and he finds Chubbs dead? So I go in there, he's still under the water bottle, and I pick him up. His eyes were crusted shut, like pink eye.
Right.
And I just knew. I said, I'm taking him to the vet. And that's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, he's gonna die. He's like, how do you know? I said, because I can feel it. I know. I'm like, I went into full panic. Like, my anxiety just took off. I got a warm washcloth. I cleaned his eyes up and opened them. But I called them, and they're like, the exotic vet's not here today. I'm like, listen, I don't care. I'm like, someone has to look at this guinea pig. Here I am, like a crazy person with a fucking guinea pig. I'm insisting. I bring him in there, and they told me to come back. I'm like, Matt, you have to come with me. And he's like, they said they could come pick Chubbs up. And he's like, so go. I'm like, no, I can't. I don't know what they're gonna say. So we went and picked him up, and she says, I don't have high hopes for him. Like, I'm gonna cry. It's a fucking guinea pig. I sat there with him in my lap and a towel for about 6 hours. I gave him his medicine. I had a little syringe, so I gave him water. I grinded up food in my NutriBullet to make sure that he was able to eat. And then he just looked at me. He made a squeak, and he was still moving around, but I knew. I said, he's going to die. And Matt's like, no. He died right in my hands. He just died right in my hands. I said, you need to go away. And Matt's like, why? I said, because if you don't want to see him die, then you need to not be here. He still thought I was crazy. He's going to die, and all of a sudden he starts like coughing, like that, like you could hear it, and then he starts like shaking, having convulsions, and I just cracked up. He died in my arms, and then I gave him CPR because I was a nurse. I'm like, I have to make him live. I wish I had little paddles. I have to bring him back. My son's gonna go crazy, and then I was like, what do I do? Do I bury him? Will Robert be mad that I buried him before he came home? Or would he not want to see? Like, I was happy he wasn't there to witness him dying, because it would have killed him. When I said the next day, when he came home, he ran in his room and didn't believe me, and he came out hysterical. We buried him the night before, because we decided it would be better for him not to see Chubbs dead. But I held him for like 2 hours, because in my mind, he was like, did his leg just move? Did you just flinch? Now, after you die, I notice your nerves, you still have little random movements. Even, no, I'll skip that part. But when I just had weird feelings. I held him for like 2 hours, and then finally I'm like, okay, we could bury him. He's dead. But
that's the psychic connection to the animal. You have a connection with them.
Yeah.
Nobody else could walk in and have that connection unless they have an ability as well. But, you know, like somebody that you don't even know, or, well, even they could. I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird. Somebody without the ability would not be able to tell that that animal was sick and dying. But people who can talk with the animals, they have that ability. They know when something is wrong. They feel it. They know it. You know when they're not feeling well. You know when they're not. You know when they're angry. Look at that little rodent you have running around the house that keeps attacking you. You know that right now that animal is just not happy with you. Why?
She's not only not happy with me, she fluffs up. Like, her hair's on all ends, and she looks like this big fluffy thing, and she's just like, and she charges me. And is it because I'm running? Like, what the fuck? I've never had a problem with any animal, wild or domestic, in my entire life. But this little shit, 12 inches freaking tall, half a freaking pound, she's gonna kill me one day. She will kill me. She will eat me to death. Like, if I die and Robert lets her out and she's running around my house, she'll probably fucking eat me.
Exactly. But she's connected to your son.
Yeah, and I'm the one that rescued her at 6 weeks old. I'm the one that started to break her, to train her, to get her friendly, because nobody wanted to do anything with her. She was too much. They only had her for like a week. So I went and rescued her, so they did
hormonal.
Somebody else. I took care of her, Robert came home, and all of a sudden, it was all about Robert. And now she bit clear through my nail and my fingertip. Like, she cleared through. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, really? Matt said it. He's like, I have never, ever seen an animal not like you. And he told Robert, he's like, it's really, really crazy. He's like, this animal adores you, loves you, plays with you, wrestles with you, just jumps on you, whatever, squeaks and chirps, but she'll chase me. She literally will come on the couch, like, mouth wide open, these giant teeth come at me, and I'm just like, I'm sitting there like this, going, come on now, move. I'm pushing her away with one of Matt's slides, which I stole from him.
But because she matured, you're a female and you're a threat to her.
Well, she needs to get over herself.
I agree. You gotta have a talk with her.
I try. I send pictures and videos, and I'm just like, this little shit. People were like, oh, put videos of Penelope on YouTube. We haven't seen her in a while. I'm just like, man, y'all want to see me die? Like, if that's what you want, like, okay, but, you know, I'm not suicidal, but whatever y'all want, you guys are the boss. I just get chased around by a prairie dog, and I run, and I scream, ah! I yell, stop it, Penelope!
Well, but you know what, though? The same thing goes with plants. You can have, like you said, you like going to the water. Guess what? I can't swim, but my thing is the water. My thing is the water, too. It calms me. It helps me to focus. It makes me feel better. Other people, it's plants. Other people can go into a forest and they feel that peace that we feel at the water.
I can too, though. I do. Well, because I'm from Florida, so, you know, and I lived up north. I would go hiking a lot, and I would always spend a lot of time, you know, somewhere in the woods hiking. But I would take this one trail, which I always hated because it's easier to get down than it is to get back up. It's like 10 miles straight down, so getting back up was the hard part, and there was no way to leave because I was far from my car. But at the bottom, there was this beautiful waterfall, so I would have like the excitement of walking through the trail and the woods and everything, and then I'd have the waterfall at the bottom. But then I would just pray that I didn't die trying to get back up the side of the mountain.
Right. Try doing the Niagara Gorge.
So this is true.
Those days are done.
I've done the shark diving. I've swum in canals with gators. In fact, Matt and I've known him since I was 12. So we've all jumped in the canals. They're filled with water and alligators. And we would just jump in, whatever, swim out, get up, jump in again, go, it was just like a repetitive, we used to ride dirt bikes off the bank into the canal and then have to drag it out, because we were stupid, clearly, but I'm like, let's do it again. And he's like, no. I'm like, why? He's like, it's dangerous. It's like, why? Are the gators faster now than they were when we were kids? Like, why is it dangerous now? Or like, we went shark diving.
No, you're slower.
Yeah, exactly. We went shark diving. We didn't go on a honeymoon, but he agreed reluctantly to do the shark diving. He assumed we were going to use the cage. Well, I asked the guy when we stopped and he turned off the boat. I said, do we have to go in the cage? And he's like, no, the cage is for chickens. Matt was just like, fuck. Now I'm a chicken. Because I was like, really? Cool. So, well, I'm not going in the cage. And he's like, okay. So then, after I said that, Matt's like, double fuck. Now I'm a chicken, and I'm going in the cage by myself. Well, we're out there, snorkels, fins, goggles, and, the guy starts chumming the water. I thought Matt was just going to fucking have a heart attack and die right there. I'm like, what did you think he was going to do? He's just going to go, yeah, sharky, 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 and he was coming. Like, of course they're going to throw chum. Well, I was planning to go, again, make another, schedule another appointment to do it around here. And, no, I'm not doing that again, ever. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? He's like, because you know how unbelievably dangerous and stupid that was? I'm like, no, it was fucking fun. Like, fuck, you didn't die the first time. Let's do it again. We went to the beach house, and it's funny because I went out kind of far, and he reluctantly followed. He always just reluctantly follows behind. And I went out a little further because there was a sandbar, and I'm looking, and I see dorsal fins. So I look over, and I'm like, hey. He's like, what? I'm like, if you see a shark, what you're supposed to do, right? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, if you see a shark and it starts coming towards you, I said, you don't panic. He's going to think you're wounded, it's going to come after you. You don't flop and flail and, have a heart attack. You just slowly make it back to shore. That's it. He's like, okay. And he turned around and walked away. And then he backs up and he looks out and he sees what I was seeing. Because he knows I didn't just come all the way over there just to tell him advice. He's like, he knows me enough to know that I came out there to tell him about the damn dorsal fins for a reason. I think it turned out that I believe it was dolphins. It wasn't sharks. But the night before we did, see a couple sharks. So he didn't know what the hell it was, but, oh, thank you, Christine. You are awesome. You didn't have to do that, love. I appreciate you. But yeah, so he's like, come on, let's go, I don't know what it is. It was sharks, no, I was saying, it could be anything. And I'm just like, no, this is where I belong. Like, I actually started to cry. I was so happy. I'm like, in the water, and there's these amazing beasts, and they're not that far away, but they're far enough that I was safe, but they weren't, like, that far. I could see them, And to me, that was just, like, the most awesome thing in the entire world. And he's ran as fast. I think he walked on water. He could have been Jesus. And I'm just like, he just left me out here to die. Like, what if they came up and ate me? He just ran off to the shore. What are you going to go tell everybody on YouTube? I was scared and left my wife in the water, and yeah, Jaws got her. But I'm okay, because I went to the sand. So don't worry, guys. I'm still here, but damage is definitely damaged right now. Like, all the way damaged. Worse than before. I don't know.
I leave the water as soon as I see it.
Okay. I'm kind of multitasking while we talk.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. Shit don't get done by itself. How about that?
Yeah, I know.
Anyways.
I planned to do today, which I neglected to do, but then I realized I do that all the time. So what's the difference? If you don't expect too much from me, I will never let you know.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm puttering. while we talk, and then my Bluetooth keeps going down, and it's pissing me off. So,
Oh.
but you know what? Like I said, this is the shit that we've been through. It's not all of it. It's pretty much the tip of the iceberg, what we've been through.
You're gonna have to talk
I
more
wanted to share
with me, more privately, because I'm really interested. I especially really want to learn more about like the things that your granddaughter draws on the walls and like her experiences. Like, how does she process that? Like, it's just okay. Like, it doesn't affect her negatively at all.
No, they're her friends.
At least she's documenting it.
Well, yeah, I think that's awesome. I definitely want to hear more about her experiences, though, one of these days. When you have Miss Mags, which actually feels really weird to me because I always make sure when I talk to anybody that's a part of my YouTube family that I call them by their screen name. Because I never want to see them and be like, hey, how's it going? And say their real name. Yeah. So it's kind of weird that I'm not calling you by the name that I should be calling you by. So
yeah, you know what? It's a privacy thing. I even, like I said, I told my daughter, don't use your real name.
Absolutely.
She needs, you know what? There's some really great people on YouTube. I know where I want to go. I talk to who I want to talk to. But there's also some nasty pieces of shit out here.
I'm nasty too. Bring it on.
They don't need to know my business.
No. And I would I've known your real name for a very long time, and Matt found out the other day, like, because I don't even tell him people's real names because he might slip. I'm not going down for that one. Hell no.
I know, my name is so awesome too. That's what
it's my favorite thing in the world. I mean, like, you see how I text you, like, just make up random names that kind of...
I know. Go with it, exactly. They correlate.
I think it's funny. He's just like, did you really just call her that? I'm like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to be offended? No.
And I sent her a picture before I came on. I was like, hey, asshole, how does this look? Because my friend who's in here made a picture of me and changed me into a blonde with blue eyes. And I showed Matt, and he had no idea who the hell it was. I'm like, really? Like, the tattoo, the shirt, just wore it the other day, like, the tattoos, anything, nothing, the shower curtain behind me, like, something, nothing gave it away that it was me. He's like, no. Well, I asked your mother, I was like, who's this? She's like, I don't know, but one of her tits is pointing to her belly button, and the other one's looking down at her foot, and I'm just like, well, thanks, it's me. So I sent her a picture, and I'm like, hey, asshole, how do my tits look today? And she's like, good. I'm like, are they looking in the right direction? She's like, yeah, they are.
Open mouth, insert foot.
It was so funny. I'm like, thanks. So my husband doesn't like me, and my tits are just not normal. They're like, I don't know, cockeyed.
I didn't know. In my defense, I didn't know.
I have cross-eyed tits.
One's looking at your shoes, the other one's looking at your belly button.
I laughed so hard when I read that. I'm like, thanks. It's me, by the way. She's like, oh, this is a very pretty picture, though. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, get dressed and look nice. And then I'm like, because it's Friday and I have to get Matt here in a little bit.
I think you had a sense of humor about it.
I was dying. I was cracking up. But then I asked, like, asshole, how my tits look today. Because I'm damned if they're looking all crazy on live, and I'm trying to look nice for my husband, and he's going to be like, what are your tits doing? Like, why are they like this? Oh, we're going to know. Because sometimes it's like that.
If any consolation, I felt like a piece of shit afterwards.
Did you really? Oh, stop it.
I did. I felt really bad.
Tattoo eyelashes on them. Well, I do want nipple tattoos, and P knows that. So, no, my nipples are not getting fucking eyelashes. Sorry, it's just not happening. Not even for you.
You were unrecognizable. That's all I can say.
I was like, man, I wouldn't look too bad if I was like, oh, you know, pale with blue eyes and blonde. I'm like, I look decent. I didn't know who the fuck I was, and clearly my tits are dysfunctional. So I'm like, well, fuck being a blonde. You turn blonde and everything goes crazy.
Don't ever use that as your photo if you go missing. Nobody will ever find you.
Not even my husband. It's funny.
They'll be looking for some bitch with taggy tits.
Right? Because you just picture me on the back of the milk carton. I'd have to put myself on like a beer box so back and find me. You're like, shit, that looks like my wife. Oh god, she's missing.
What?
Okay, sorry. I forgot to mute my mic.
You're okay. Well, ladies, is there anything else exciting that you haven't said that you'd like to say? Because I'm all ears and we still have some people hanging out. Like I said, I don't really have any experiences other than like the little animal connections and stuff like that. But you guys are just crazy with all kinds of information. It's very actually like educating talking to you guys.
There's all, you know what? This has been a lifetime of stuff. But the veil is getting very thin, and more people are starting to see what's on the other side of the veil. They're starting to be seen by more and more people because everyone has the ability. Mm-hmm. It's just most people, when they were young, it's like, there's a monster in my closet. There's a monster under my bed. And you were told, no, there isn't.
Yeah, you're just seeing things. There's nothing there. It's my kids, but they swore up and down. I'm like, you're insane. There's no lady in the rocking chair. Like, I live in that room. How would I not know? But, you know, they see things, and it's cool. Like, I accept it. Hey, whatever. If you want to see things, see things. At least you're not on drugs. Then I'd be upset about the things that you're seeing.
Well, that's it. We program, most people program their kids to deny what they've seen. Mm-hmm. I never did that with my kids because I knew what they were seeing was real. I would sit down with them. I would empower them and tell them, you know what? You don't have to have them in there. You can tell them, no, you need to go away. I have school tomorrow, or I have things to do tomorrow. I can't do this.
Do you remember when Acacia and Sarah was locked in the bedroom and we couldn't open the door, and they said that guy was in the closet cutting himself? No. I have school tomorrow, or I have things to
do. Rewind.
Did she disconnect again?
She's muted. She muted herself. I don't want to unmute her. What if she's like farting? She could be taking a massive shit right now. And if I unmute her, you're just gonna hear like, oh, she must be saying something.
I do remember that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm my freaking earpod freaking clicked out, and I'm having a really hard time hearing you guys right now. I don't know why it's happening. It's just happening. So I don't know what to do. But you know what I'm going to do?
I got to jump
off. What I'm going to do. We've been on here for over 2 hours, so I'm going to jump out, and I'm going to get done what I need to get done. Judy's bored, so sorry, Judy. I'm sorry you're bored. Penelope, what do you got? Penelope's got a question. What do you got?
I wouldn't ask if I were you, but go for it.
Give me your question, and then I'm going to hop off after I answer you.
By the way, P's the one that turned me into the blonde with the janky tits. Thanks, P.
Oh, it was her who did it?
Sure enough was.
the snakes?
Oh, yeah, she said, well, my answer clearly I'm sure is not correct. She said, I've been trying to understand why I always had snakes around me as a child, but they were not there to anybody else. I said because you're supposed to be Medusa. Clearly I'm not.
No. No, you were seeing past the veil and seeing. You were the only one who could see it is because you were the only one who was meant to. It could have been a warning that you were in a place where you shouldn't have been. Things could have gone much worse. Did you leave when you saw them?
Depending on the snake too, they could have been a good omen.
Well, are rattlesnakes really good? Or people make like the dancing cobras and shit, but like some of those snake churches. P, if you want to click the link and come ask your question, you don't have to turn your camera on. Like rattlesnakes.
Okay, then I gotta reboot up my earpod so I can hear my AirPod. Hang on. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm rehooking up.
It didn't stop until I moved out of the house, she said.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Checking? Yeah.
No,
She
hang
said-
on, I'll be right back.
Just take it.
Anthony's messages should be right back. What do you think? She says that they didn't go away until she moved out of that house. What's your opinion, sarcastic?
What was going on in the house? She was saying something negative, so it could have been toxic. That was
Okay, I'm back.
out.
Do you know what kind of snakes they were, P?
I know if I dream of snakes, it usually is a good omen.
Well, like I said, are rattlesnakes that are worshipped in churches, like, are they, like, really, like, a good type of, like, presence?
No.
She said she...
Serpent.
Right. Which, I know what that means in the Bible. But I don't...
Same thing.
Okay. She couldn't get out of...
Coming up.
And there were all kinds of snakes. Snakes are...
Stopping you from going somewhere. Also, it could have meant that you leaving and going somewhere. If it's stopping you from getting out of bed,
So it was protecting her, maybe?
a protection. Me, I follow a lot of astrology, and in native astrology, I'm a snake. Snakes are good omens for me. So it could have been a good thing.
I don't know what I would be on native, but you know, everybody had laughed at me about this the other day. Not everybody, not YouTube everybody, but like everybody that was around me. On the Chinese menus, they have the animals and your birth dates and whatever. I'm a cock.
Yeah.
I'm an ox.
I'm a dragon.
I'm a cock. What the fuck?
Yeah.
All the things I could be.
Yeah. I'm a dragon, and in the native calendar, I'm a deer.
How do I find out about native? Like, just type in native astrology and it'll tell me.
When's your birthday?
Yeah.
In November.
Native.
You're a snake.
I'm a snake? Sweet. Is that why I love reptiles?
Probably. I'm a snake also.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, somebody asked what my favorite rescue was. My favorite rescues were, I had my possums. I loved them. They were awesome. But I also have rescued 3 different types of tegus, which is a large lizard. Argentina. And I actually have the one still. His name is Draco, and he's about 3.5 feet long. Sorry. But so I guess he would be my favorite rescue out of all of them. But I mean, I everything I rescue, you have to understand, like, I have to nurse a lot of them. So, like, even when the baby rabbits were born, I had bottle fed them because the mom was just like, screw this. I don't want to, and she wasn't really a good mom at first. So I always taken care of everything, like nursed them back to health, fed them. So I can't really say that I actually have a real favorite. I can say that I am attached to everything that I rescue, that I grow attached.
Yeah. My thing has always been the dogs. My daughter can tell. Oh shit! Did I fall out again?
No. Oh, yep. November 11th.
Yeah, me too. On the first day of Sagittarius, so like I'm on the cusp. Which I don't know what that really means, but I'm assuming because it's like I'm half fire, half water, that maybe like the water is my empathy and why I have like a very genuine soul and care so much about everybody. And then like the fire, well, anybody that's ever seen me piss at anybody, you guys know I got that fire. So I don't know. I guess it's very conflicting to be like a nice, mean person.
Yeah, I'm the nice me person. I used to go to the SPCA. The dogs that were old, that were ready to be put down, I would bring them home. I would take them to the vet, have them fixed, train them, and then out they would go. My kids were devastated. It's like, Mom, why can't we keep this one? Why can't we keep... No, because that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to get them into a forever home so that they don't die. I don't have
in that cage. Yeah, I'm like that. I say I run a rescue. Like PetSmart and all those stores, like because I do rescue, they give me free stuff. Like when their inventory is not out of date. Like okay, so like big giant boxes of cages not opened over $100, they'll just get rid of them because we're getting new shipments in. So they give them to me because they know what I'm doing. My attic is loaded with cages. But I am not an actual rescue. I do volunteer for a rescue, but I focus a lot on my own stuff as well. So it's not like I'm reaping any benefits. I'm not like, a tax write-off or anything like that. This is all out of just the fact that I have to help them. And I do.
Oh, I spent thousands of dollars a year of my own money
So
on these animals because I didn't want them dead.
Yeah, no, it's very expensive. People don't realize. I mean, even rabbits, the amount of food that I buy, and then everybody gets treats and this and that, and then the prairie dog Penelope, she has she's a spoiled little brat too, even though she hates me. Like, maybe I'm trying to buy her up.
She'll get over it.
Maybe we'll see. Until I'm like, you're taking her with you when you move out one day, son. He's like, well, I'm never moving out. Really, all right, fine. I guess she's not even.
I know. That's what
maybe
nobody can afford to.
Yeah, it's expensive. I pay less for my mortgage than a lot of people pay for renting apartments or houses that are smaller than mine. Like I know people that have 2-bedroom houses that are paying $15 or $100 a month. Someone was renting a townhome for $1,550 a month, and it was only 2 bedrooms, and it was attached, to another house. The fuck, like,
and that's ridiculous.
It's horrible. It really is.
Yeah, they've done it deliberately. Well, we won't even get. That's a whole other topic for you to touch on.
No.
That's not a now topic.
He wants me to do an astrology. And I'm just like, really? Like, I don't know anything about astrology other than what my sign is. And I told you this earlier, actually. Like, you guys know a lot about that. And Sarcastic says she studies it, so maybe we could do an astrology live, and you can teach all of us something about that.
Yeah, I don't know much about astrology.
Like, do you study the stars and where they're aligned in the moons and the planets and stuff?
I've always had an attachment to the moon. Always. And the stars. Thanks to my mother. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That is awesome. I love the sky. I love looking at it, but I just like, I'm like, oh, I think that's the Big Dipper. Maybe it's not, but it is to me.
Well, the Big Dipper is bigger than the Little Dipper, so.
Oh, if I can't find both of them, then it's, I don't know, I just assume it looks awfully big to me. It doesn't look like it should, it's not as small as it should be, so it's the big one.
You're right, Sarah. It's gotten out of control. And like I said, that's another topic. That's a huge, huge topic. Let me put it to you this way. Most of my family don't speak to me because of my views and what I know. So, you know,
Damn, rabbits! Stop it!
uh-oh.
Stop it! You ripped his fur right out of his head, you little jerk! Hold on, please. Son of a biscuit! What does it make fucking rabbit stew? Rabbit stew! Mo! Get over here, Mo!
Trouble. They got in trouble.
Damn rabbits! They're always fucking. And they're all boys. It doesn't even make sense, you corny little fricker. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Have a little meltdown because they're raping their brother. Come on now. Like, that's not even rape at any level. Poor guy.
They're sexually assaulting each other.
Yeah, well, he's the oldest, but he's the smallest. So the babies being bigger than him, they just go after him all the time. Poor guy can't catch a break. Anyway, oh crap, it's 2:07. I have to get ready to go get the old man because for the second day in a row I was supposed to go shopping, but I didn't. So I guess tomorrow I'll be driving him to work again. Yeah.
This was fun. Thank you.
It was. We have to plan a astrology live. We're definitely, look, anything goes here. All topics are open. And everybody will be respectful in the chat, or they'll have to deal with me, and nobody likes that. So we yeah, let's talk about it. I hear you.
I don't hear her.
Yeah.
Subscribe
I did
to the
subscribe.
channel.
I
Okay.
did.
She had to be able to comment. I do that to keep the trolls out because most people aren't going to sub to me for however long I said it for, just so they could come in here and talk shit. Some people do, and then I thank them. Thank you. It's going to take a lot more than not to hurt my feelings, but you are awesome, asshole.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Penelope.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm happy you guys came up here. Let's get together and do it again. P, you're next.
Do it again.
Because you and I have a subject we're going to talk about, so you're next. You're my next victim. I guess.
This is right.
Yeah, everybody's having a good day. They're thanking you for coming up. They really enjoyed listening, so that's awesome. I enjoyed talking to you guys. You were such a...
Okay, thank you for having us, and we'll be back again.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
I love you guys. Stay safe, and I will see you soon. I'll talk to you soon, Mags.
Okay, bye.
Mitchell will be hitting you up soon. Bye. Thank you, fantastic. It was awesome meeting you. I'm so happy you came up.
Oh, no problem. I was told that I had to be here.
Mama says goes.
I enjoy myself anyways.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. So, thank you. I know you're busy. That was really cool of you to come and give me some time.
No problem.
I will hopefully be talking to you again soon.
For sure.
Have a good weekend. Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Well, now I'm looking at myself. Now I'm kind of janky. Fucking Mags. Fucking Penelope. Gave me janky tits. yeah, everyone Tuesday. Bye. Okay. Mwah. I love you guys. I have to go pick up the old man. And I will be seeing you guys very soon. Promise. Love to everybody.